People always said I was lucky to have her. She's stunning, Liam. Man, how'd you land her? Dude, she's a 10, and you've got a great personality. I got used to the backhanded compliments. You'd think after a few years they'd sting less. They didn't. Her name is Kat, short for Katrina, but she hated that name. Said it sounded too Eastern European, like someone who'd bite your hand during a modeling audition. So, Kat, sharp, stylish, always camera ready, long legs, designer everything, and a tongue that could cut drywall. We met at a friend's Halloween party. She was dressed as Catwoman. I was a programmer who didn't bother dressing up, because I was a programmer. She came up to me and said, "You're either the smartest guy in the room or the most boring." I laughed. "Why can't I be both?" She smiled, and for a second I thought I saw softness. "Okay, funny guy. Buy me a drink." We were inseparable after that, or at least I thought we were. The first year of marriage was fine. I worked from home, freelance software dev, long hours but flexible. She worked in PR and fashion branding and came home exhausted but glowing. We ate dinner together. We watched Netflix. We had a rhythm. She had this way of making everything feel elevated, even grocery shopping. "Liam, if I ever see you wear gym shorts to Whole Foods, I'll divorce you on sight." I thought it was cute. She had standards. I respected that. But around year 3, things shifted. Not in an explosion, more like erosion. The joke started. We were at a dinner party with her friends, most of them social media managers, lifestyle bloggers, or boutique owners who wore sunglasses indoors. I was pouring wine for everyone. Someone made a comment about dream husbands, and Kat didn't miss a beat. "Oh, Liam's perfect. He doesn't talk back, he does the dishes, and he even folds the towels the right way." Laughter. "He's like a house robot with facial hair. You ask, it's done. No talking back, no attitude." I chuckled with everyone, but something in me tightened. Later that night, I brought it up gently while brushing my teeth. "Hey, that comment at dinner kinda burned." She glanced at me in the mirror. "Oh, come on, it was a joke. You know I love how helpful you are." "Yeah, but—" I hesitated. "Sometimes it feels like I'm the punchline." She wiped off her lipstick, unbothered. "You're being sensitive. That's not attractive, babe." I swallowed it, like I always did. A few weeks later, I made Sunday pancakes, her favorite. She posted a picture of me flipping them on Instagram. Caption read, "Train your man right and you'll never cook again." Over 400 likes, a few fire emojis, some clapping hands, one comment, "I swear if my man doesn't mop while smiling like this, I'm divorcing him." Kat replied, "Girl, it's all about conditioning, like a dog, rewards and tone." I stood there holding a spatula, reading it in silence while she scrolled, smiling at her own cleverness. I didn't say anything. What would be the point? The worst part was, she made me feel like I was the weird one for being bothered. She'd say things like, "You're lucky I'm high maintenance. I keep you sharp. You need me to have a personality. Without me, you'd wear beige until you died." And then, there was that moment. We were at an event, one of her PR clients' product launches. Lots of cameras, lots of fakery. I stood by her side, holding her bag while she networked. I was used to it. But then, as we were walking past a group of her friends, she leaned close to me and whispered, "Let's be real, Liam. I'm the one who keeps us socially relevant. You're just the background husband. Try not to ruin the aesthetic." I froze. It wasn't the words. It was the ease with which she said them, like I was a handbag, something to match her outfit, not her life. That night, lying in bed, I stared at the ceiling. I remember thinking, when did love turn into this? When did I stop being a partner and start being a punchline? But I didn't say a word, not yet, because sometimes silence isn't weakness, it's preparation. They say love is blind, but no one tells you that suspicion sees everything. Every weird smile, every half-second pause, every glance that lasts just a little too long. It started small. Always does. One Thursday afternoon, Kat said she was going to get her nails done. No big deal. She did that like it was a religious ceremony. But that day, she left in sweatpants and came back 4 hours later in full makeup, hair bouncing, smelling like someone had poured half a bottle of Dior onto her pulse points. I greeted her at the door like always. "Hey, babe. Nails look the same?" I tried to make it a joke. She barely looked up from her phone. Oh, the appointment got canceled. So I grabbed a smoothie and caught up with Jenny. Smoothie? Jenny? Jenny was 8 months pregnant and didn't leave the house unless her water broke. But I nodded like an idiot and kissed her cheek. She smelled like someone else's cologne. Next day, I got into her car to move it for the garbage truck. And there it was. A baseball cap on the passenger seat. Not mine. Not her style either. Cheap, black, with a red logo that read, Iron Hustle Gym. Next to it, an empty protein shake bottle and a gym towel that smelled like testosterone and Axe body spray. My hands tightened on the steering wheel. I stared at that cap like it was a loaded gun. But I said nothing. Instead, I quietly took a picture. Just in case. That weekend, I noticed something else. We were sitting on the couch watching some trashy reality show she loved. The kind where people scream, "I'm not here to make friends," and throw drinks. Kat's phone lit up on the armrest next to me. A message popped up. "See you soon, gorgeous, T." No last name, just T. I glanced at her. She didn't even flinch, just kept watching TV, like nothing happened. I made my voice casual. "Who's T?" She snatched her phone like it owed her money. "Tina, from yoga." Oh, I didn't know Tina was into emojis. She turned and gave me a long look, the kind that says, "Don't push it. You're being paranoid again. Relax, go write some code or whatever it is you do." I laughed it off, but inside, I felt my chest clench like a vice. She just lied to my face, but without blinking, without guilt, without respect. That night, I waited for her to fall asleep. I stayed perfectly still in bed, listening to her breathing slow down. Then I got up, quietly tiptoed into the living room, and opened my laptop. If she thought I was some harmless background husband, she forgot I was also an IT guy. I wrote a script to monitor her cloud backups. She had been deleting messages, but not notifications, and definitely not metadata. I saw a bunch of recently deleted chats with a number saved only as T. The timestamps matched all the weird gaps in her manicure sessions. I sat back in my chair and stared at the screen. My heart wasn't broken. It was rebooting. "All right," I whispered to myself, staring at the glow of the monitor. "Let's start collecting receipts." And just like that, I was no longer her +1. I was the guy behind the scenes, pressing record. Betrayal doesn't walk in wearing boots. It tiptoes, careful not to make a sound. I wasn't going to accuse her without proof. Kat was too slick for that. She'd cry, gaslight, twist it into my insecurity. So I planned, cold, methodical, and quiet. One morning, I set the trap. "I think I'm going to start working from that new co-working space downtown," I told her over coffee. "Too many distractions here. I need to focus." She barely looked up from her phone, but I caught it, the faintest flicker of relief in her eyes. "That's a great idea," she said quickly. "You'll be way more productive." That was all I needed. I kissed her on the cheek, packed a fake work bag, and left. Except I didn't go downtown. I sat at a nearby cafe with Wi-Fi, a pair of noise-canceling headphones, and full remote access to our house. Because that morning, while she was at Pilates, I'd installed cameras, 4 of them, disguised as motion detectors, light fixtures, even a tiny one inside the decorative lamp in our bedroom she hadn't dusted since 2021. I watched, and I waited. It didn't take long. Clip 1. A man I'd never seen before walks through the front door. Broad shoulders, tank top, baseball cap. He lets himself in, with a key. Clip 2. He's in the kitchen. Kat is laughing, offering him something on a spoon. He kisses her. She melts into it. Clip 3. They're in my bed. My bed. He's shirtless, sprawled out like he owns the place. She throws on a t-shirt that clearly isn't mine and says, giggling, "Ugh, I told you. He still thinks I'm at yoga. He'd probably say hi to you if you walked in." My jaw clenched, but my hands stayed steady. I paused the video and zoomed in on his face. Not a very discreet guy. Bright smile, over-defined jaw. He looked like a protein ad with a trust fund. And that gave me an idea. I opened Instagram, went to Kat's following list, scrolled, stopped. There he was, a Troy Fit official, fitness instructor, inspirational captions, a grid full of shirtless mirror selfies and gym partnerships. She'd liked nearly every single post. So this was Troy, the walking ab machine who thought he was clever. I took screenshots, downloaded the footage, uploaded it all to a secure drive. Then I made a call I hadn't made in years. "Liam? Hey Maria, you still the best divorce lawyer in town?" "Always. What did she do?" "You're gonna need a drink." We met the next morning. Maria looked exactly like I remembered. Black suit, no-nonsense stare, lipstick that said I win even when I'm quiet. I showed her the footage. She nodded once, without surprise. "Well damn, she really gave Jim Barbie the house key? Amateur hour. No prenup, no mercy. The house is yours, bought before marriage. You've been the main earner, and we have receipts. This is going to be beautiful." She outlined the plan like a hitman planning a public execution. Freeze the joint accounts. I opened a new private account, moved what I legally could, froze the rest, file for divorce, quietly, with video evidence, screenshots, and a timeline. Cut off access to the car. It was leased under my name. A single phone call would deactivate her keycard, save it for her birthday. Maria sipped her espresso and smiled. "Let's make it a party she'll never forget." I nodded. That night, Kat walked in after yoga, glowing. I was already home, sitting on the couch with a glass of wine and an Oscar-worthy smile. "Hey babe," she said cheerfully. "Guess who's turning 32 next week?" "Oh, I know. And I've got something really special planned for you." She kissed me on the forehead, completely unaware that her gift was already wrapped and waiting. Kat loved her birthday. She treated it like a royal event. Weeks of planning, a themed dress code, rented space, custom desserts, imported balloons, and at least 2 costume changes. This year's theme? Chic power. Black and gold, champagne towers, signature cocktails called Catinis, and a slideshow of Kat's best moments on loop. She made me wear a black button-up and dress shoes. "I want you to look like you belong to me, not like you're on tech support," she said, adjusting my collar. "Yes, ma'am," I said with a smile. Her friends were there, a few influencers she obsessively name-dropped, and yes, standing in the back near the dessert table, Troy. Tight shirt, tight pants, tighter smirk. The air reeked of hairspray and ego. I walked around the party, smiling, nodding, playing the part. No one suspected a thing. Then Kat grabbed the mic. Oh, she always grabbed the mic. She clinked her glass and stood near the front of the room, hand on hip, glowing like a chandelier. "Thank you all for coming to celebrate me. I mean, let's be honest, who wouldn't?" Laughter. "You all know my husband, Liam. My sweet, quiet, reliable Liam. He's so perfect. Never argues, always listens. And ladies, he even mops. Like, willingly." More laughter. "He's basically a husband pet. Feed him, compliment him once a week, and boom, loyalty unlocked." The crowd howled. I smiled, politely, but my eyes were dead. I looked across the room and caught Maria's nod from the corner. She was already here, sitting near the DJ booth. I walked forward, nice and slow, and clapped twice. The music cut. The lights dimmed. People turned toward me, some still chuckling. "Kat," I said, taking the mic from her hand gently. "Since tonight is all about celebrating you, I thought it was time we all saw just how special you really are." She blinked, confused. "Liam, what are you—" I pulled the remote from my pocket and pointed it at the projector screen. The room went still, and then it began. First clip. Troy, entering our house with a key. Second clip. Kat feeding him strawberries in our kitchen, kissing him, his hand up her dress. Third clip. Kat in our bed saying, "He still thinks I'm at Pilates. He'd probably say hi to you if you walked in." The room was silent. No music, no laughter. Just the sound of careers, reputations, and illusions shattering. Kat didn't move. She was frozen. Her mouth opened. No sound. Her cocktail slipped from her hand and shattered on the floor. Troy looked like a deer caught in high beams. His arm dropped the dessert plate. Chocolate mousse hit the floor with a soft splat. Someone gasped. Someone else said, "Oh, my God." I handed the mic back to Kat. "You wanted to be the star of the night. Congratulations." Then I turned to Maria, who stood and calmly walked over, holding a manila envelope. "Catherine," she said crisply, "you've been served. Divorce papers, effective immediately." Maria dropped the envelope into Kat's stunned hands like it was a dead bird. I turned back to the crowd. "Drinks are on me, everyone. But I won't be staying. My Uber's outside. I've got better places to be." I walked out to applause, not from everyone, but from enough. I didn't look back when I left the party. I didn't need to. I already knew what I'd see. Troy trying to disappear into the wallpaper. Kat frozen with a death grip on that envelope. People whispering, recording, uploading. By the time I got home, the video had already been posted to 2 private group chats and 1 local gossip page with the caption, "PR Queen gets publicly destroyed at her own party. Watch his face, cold as ice." I didn't smile. I slept. 8 full hours, for the first time in months. The next morning, I canceled all her cards. Bank access? Gone. Car? Disabled? Towed back to the dealership within the hour. Her name was never on the title anyway. She called me 11 times. I didn't answer. She texted, "WTF, Liam? You humiliated me. We need to talk. This is emotional abuse. I'll get a lawyer." Too late. I already had one, and she was better. Maria filed for emergency asset protection that same day. We submitted the video evidence to the court. Her lawyer tried to argue emotional distress from the exposure. Maria laughed in the judge's face. "Your Honor, my client was the one distressed. He was lied to, used, and humiliated, in private and online. She turned their marriage into content." Kat's influencer deals started falling apart. Brands didn't want to be associated with messy domestic drama. Troy? Troy stayed for 3 more days. Until he realized the fridge wasn't magically restocking and Uber rides weren't free. Kat posted a thirst trap the morning he left. Caption, "Some people aren't meant to handle a real woman." He didn't like it. Unfollowed her by dinner. She emailed me once, a full-page apology, said she'd lost herself, that she missed the man who always made her feel safe, that maybe we both made mistakes. I forwarded it to Maria. "Any response?" she asked. "Yeah," I said. "Block." And that was that. It's been 6 months. I still live in the same house. But now, it feels different. No fake candles, no rose gold vanity mirrors, no voice yelling from the bathroom about low water pressure or why this avocado isn't ripe yet. Just silence and peace. I turned her home aesthetic into something real, minimalist, clean, quiet. I even built a coffee bar in the corner of the kitchen. Black marble, my reward for surviving the circus. Works better now too. I got recruited by a major tech firm 2 months after the party. Lead role, remote flex, stock options. My name's finally on things that matter. Funny how walking away from toxicity makes space for progress. Maria and I grab lunch every few weeks. She jokes that I owe her a cut of my future income. I joke that she should run for president. Sometimes we talk about writing a book. How to Divorce a Narcissist and Win Without Screaming. Working title. As for Kat, well, she's out. Of the house, of money, of relevance. She tried rebranding online. Different username, new profile pic, healing journey quotes and all. But people remembered. One viral birthday meltdown is hard to PR your way out of. Troy left a week later. Turns out muscles don't pay rent. I saw Kat once, at the pharmacy, sunglasses inside, buying one of those trashy celebrity magazines. She looked older, angrier, worn down, like someone trying to run a marathon in heels that no longer fit. She didn't say anything. I didn't either, just nodded and walked past. People used to call me a doormat, quiet, passive, obedient. They were half right, but doormats don't stay down forever. Eventually they grow spikes. So no, I'm not a doormat anymore. I'm the guy who took back his house, his dignity, and his peace, and made sure the ones who stepped on him never forget the sound of breaking heels on polished floors. The house is mine. The silence, even better. Game over.